Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly seen? I'm not talking about someone glancing at you or noticing your outfit. I'm talking about that rare, almost electric feeling when someone looks into your eyes and for a moment you feel like they can see every part of you. The good, the bad, the unspoken dreams, the quiet fears, and they don't turn away. That feeling right there is what intimacy is made of. And tonight, I want to talk about what it really means to build connection so deep, so real, that it transforms not only your relationship, but also the way you see yourself. Because intimacy, the kind that keeps love alive for decades, is not just about passion or touch. It is about understanding presence and emotional safety. And that is what so many people miss. You see, most people think love fades because of time. But it's not time that kills connection. It's neglect. It's the slow turning away, the loss of curiosity about each other's inner world, the moments when we stop listening, stop noticing, stop exploring. Real intimacy is not a one-time thing you achieve on a honeymoon or a romantic date. It's a living, breathing thing that needs to be nurtured with attention, empathy, and presence. And yet, no one teaches us this. We grow up hearing about love stories, about sparks and passion, but no one tells us that the deepest kind of intimacy is not loud. It is quiet. It is two people sitting in the dark, sharing secrets they've never told anyone else. It is reaching for each other's hand not out of habit, but out of choice. It is learning the language of each other's hearts and speaking it fluently. Tonight, I want to give you something more than tips. I want to give you an experience, a way to look at intimacy differently. Because the truth is, intimacy is an art, and like all art, it demands practice, patience, and presence. Let's start here. Imagine a couple. Let's call them Michael and Sarah. They've been together for years. They love each other. No doubt about it, but somewhere along the way, the closeness they once had started to fade. Conversations became practical bills, schedules, chores. The little surprises stopped. The long talks at midnight disappeared. And Sarah, though she still loved Michael, began to feel unseen. Not unloved, just unseen. That's a dangerous place for any relationship to be. Because being unseen is lonelier than being alone. Michael, on the other hand, didn't even realize this was happening. He thought everything was fine because there were no big fights, no slammed doors, no threats of leaving. But intimacy doesn't die in explosions. It dies in silence. It dies when two people slowly stop reaching for each other. One evening, Sarah finally told him, "I miss us." Not, "I miss romance," or "I miss passion," but "I miss us." And that was the moment Michael realized something had to change. That night didn't turn into an argument. Instead, it became the beginning of a new chapter. Michael started asking himself, what makes someone feel truly connected, truly desired, truly safe in love? And that question is what we're exploring here tonight. Because intimacy is built on 5 powerful foundations, and if you learn them, your relationship will never feel empty again. The first is presence. I don't mean just being in the same room. I mean the kind of presence where you put down your phone, look into your partner's eyes, and actually listen. Do you know how rare it is in today's world for someone to feel heard? Most people are not listening. They're just waiting for their turn to speak. But when you listen, really listen, you create a safe space where the other person feels like their thoughts, their feelings, their dreams actually matter. That kind of presence can melt years of distance in minutes. The second foundation is curiosity. In long relationships, we often assume we know everything about our partner. But people change. They grow. They have new thoughts, new fears, new desires. When you stop being curious, you stop discovering each other. Think about when you first fell in love. You asked questions. You wanted to know everything, their favorite childhood memory, the music that makes them cry, the dream they've never told anyone. Why stop now? Curiosity keeps love alive because it says, I want to know you, the real you, not the version of you I knew years ago, but the you that exists today. The third foundation is emotional safety. You cannot have intimacy where there is fear of judgment. People open up when they feel safe, not when they feel criticized. If your partner tells you something vulnerable and your first reaction is to correct them or judge them, they will shut down. But if you respond with kindness, with "Thank you for trusting me with that," you will see parts of their soul they've never shown anyone. The fourth is physical connection. And no, this is not just about passion. Physical touch is a language of its own. A hand on the back when they're stressed, a hug that lasts longer than a second, holding hands while walking. These tiny gestures speak louder than grand declarations because they remind your partner, I am here, with you, always. And the fifth foundation is shared meaning. Couples who last don't just share a house or a bed, they share a life story. They dream together. They create rituals only they understand. Maybe it's Sunday morning pancakes. Maybe it's a song that's theirs. Maybe it's late night drives talking about the future. These little shared moments become the glue that keeps love alive when everything else feels heavy. Now, back to Michael and Sarah. They started practicing these 5 foundations. Michael began setting aside 10 minutes each night with no phones, no TV, just the two of them talking about anything, dreams, fears, memories. He started holding her hand again, not out of habit but with presence. They made new rituals like walking together every evening. Slowly, Sarah began to feel seen again, desired again, loved again. And here's the secret. Michael felt it too. Because when you give intimacy, you receive it back tenfold. What I'm telling you tonight is this love is not kept alive by chance. It is kept alive by choice. Every day, you either feed connection or you starve it. And the couples who last, the ones who still look at each other like they did on the first date, are not lucky. They are intentional. They learn each other. They prioritize each other. They never stop being curious, never stop being present, never stop choosing each other. So tonight, if you take one thing with you, let it be this: intimacy is not about grand gestures. It is about the small things done with great love. It is about putting down your phone and looking into the eyes of the person you chose and saying, without words, I still choose you. Every single day. Because here's the truth. Love doesn't just fall apart one day out of nowhere. It slips away slowly, like sand between your fingers, when you stop doing the things that made it strong in the first place. But the beautiful part is that it can also come back. It can be rebuilt. It can feel brand new again when you bring presence, curiosity, safety, physical closeness, and shared meaning back into your relationship. And the best part, these things cost nothing but attention. Think about it. When was the last time you asked your partner about their dreams? Not just, how was your day? But, what do you want to experience in the next 5 years? What excites you? What scares you? Those questions open doors. They make someone feel like their inner world matters to you. Because we all crave to be known, to be understood. That craving doesn't disappear after the first year of dating. It stays. And if we ignore it, the relationship starts to feel empty, no matter how much love is underneath. I want to tell you a story about a couple named James and Elena. They had been married for 12 years. To anyone looking from the outside, they seemed perfect. 2 kids, good jobs, nice home. But inside, Alina felt a distance growing. James was a good man. He provided. He loved her. But somewhere along the way, he stopped seeing her as a woman with dreams, desires, emotions. She became part of the routine: wife, mother, partner in managing life. But she missed the version of him that used to look at her like she was the most interesting person in the world. She missed being discovered, being admired, being held without reason. One evening, after the kids were asleep, Elena said something softly but firmly. "I don't want to feel like roommates. I want to feel like lovers again, like friends who can talk about anything, like we did before life got so busy." That was a turning point. James could have ignored it, told her she was overthinking, but he didn't. Instead, he decided to learn her again, to ask her questions, to hear her stories, to explore her world the way he once did. He began writing her small notes, the kind he used to write when they first fell in love. They weren't long, just little things like, "I can't wait to have coffee with you tomorrow," or "thinking about you." Alina said something interesting months later. She said, "It wasn't the notes. It was the fact that you cared enough to write them." Do you see the point? It's not about big gifts or grand trips. Those are nice, but they're not the core of intimacy. The core is when someone feels chosen. Every day, not just when it's convenient, but when it's ordinary. Because love doesn't live only in the extraordinary moments. It lives in the ordinary ones. The way you look at someone when they walk into the room. The way you reach for their hand while waiting in line. The way you check in with them not because something is wrong, but because you care. Science actually supports this. Studies on long-term couples show that emotional connection grows strongest through small, daily moments of affection and attention. Psychologists call them bids for connection. A bid could be as simple as a partner saying, "Look at that beautiful sunset," and the other person responding, "Wow, you're right, it's stunning." That tiny moment, repeated over and over, builds trust, warmth, and closeness. But when the bid is ignored, when the partner doesn't look up, doesn't respond, doesn't engage, it slowly chips away at connection. Not overnight, but little by little. So ask yourself, when your partner reaches out in small ways, do you reach back? Or have you become so busy, so distracted, that you miss those little invitations to connect? Because I promise you, relationships rarely end because of one big thing. They end because of the 1,000 little moments where we didn't turn toward each other. And this isn't just about romance. It's about friendship, too. The best couples are also best friends. They laugh together. They talk about everything and nothing. They have inside jokes no one else understands. That's what keeps love young, the friendship underneath the passion. Because passion will come and go like waves. But friendship, that's the anchor. That's what makes someone feel like home. Now, let's talk about presence again. Because it's the heartbeat of intimacy. Presence means you are fully here, not just physically but emotionally. It means when your partner is talking, you're not planning your reply or checking your phone. You're listening, noticing their eyes, their tone, their emotions. When was the last time someone listened to you like that? It feels rare, almost sacred, doesn't it? Imagine giving that gift to the person you love. 10 minutes of undivided attention every day can change the whole atmosphere of a relationship. And here's something most people don't realize. Intimacy is not built in the bedroom first. It's built in conversations, in kindness, in laughter. Physical closeness becomes so much more meaningful when emotional closeness is already there. When someone feels safe, cherished, understood. Physical connection becomes an expression of love, not just an act. That's why the couples with the strongest emotional bonds often describe their physical relationship as deeper, more passionate, because it's layered with trust and care. So how do you start bringing this back if it's been lost? Start small. Ask your partner tonight, what's something you've been thinking about lately? Then listen. Really listen. Don't fix, don't judge, don't rush, just be there. Tomorrow, maybe take a walk together without distractions. Hold hands. Tell them one thing you appreciate about them that has nothing to do with looks or tasks, something about who they are as a person. These things sound simple, but they are powerful, because love is not kept alive by chance. It is kept alive by daily choices, by turning toward each other instead of away, by choosing curiosity over assumption, by choosing presence over distraction, by choosing kindness over criticism. And when you do this, something beautiful happens. The relationship begins to feel alive again. The laughter returns. The little touches come back. The trust grows. And one day, you'll look at each other and realize, we found our way back. And here is something people rarely talk about: how the energy between two people shifts when they feel truly safe with each other again. It's like the air changes. The silence stops feeling heavy and starts feeling warm. You sit together without speaking, and it's not awkward, because there's no tension to fill. That kind of comfort only comes when you've both learned to be present without demanding, to listen without judging, to love without conditions. Couples who make it for decades understand this secret. They know that passion might begin a relationship, but what keeps it alive is respect, tenderness, and emotional curiosity. Passion might be the fire, but these things are the wood that keeps the fire burning through the storms of life. Think about the couples you've seen who still laugh together after 40 years. Watch them closely. It's not luck. It's not that life was easier for them. It's that they chose each other every single day. Even when it wasn't convenient, even when work was busy, even when they were tired. They kept doing the small things. They kept looking at each other with soft eyes instead of critical ones. They kept the friendship alive underneath the love. One older couple once told me their secret. They said, "Every day we try to outkind each other. Outkind each other. Not out-argue, not out-plan, not out-earn. Outkind." That's why, even after all those years, they still looked at each other like they were the only two people in the room. Because kindness in love is magnetic. When someone feels safe with you, when they know you see the best in them even on their worst days, they open up in ways that will surprise you. Emotional walls start to fall. Dreams come back to life. Laughter gets louder, and that sense of closeness, the one so many people think fades with time, comes rushing back stronger than ever. And here's something else to understand. Intimacy is not just about what you give to the other person. It's also about what you allow yourself to receive. Some people have walls so high around their hearts that even when their partner reaches out, they don't let it in. Maybe they were hurt before. Maybe they learned to survive by not needing anyone. But real connection requires vulnerability on both sides. It's saying, "I'm going to let you see me. The real me. Not the version of me I show the world. The me with doubts, fears, flaws, and dreams I've never told anyone." That's terrifying for a lot of people. But it's also where the deepest kind of love lies. Because when someone sees all of you and stays, that's when trust becomes unshakable. That's when you stop performing and start being. And isn't that what we all want? To be loved not for the mask we wear, but for the soul underneath. I remember a man once saying about his wife of 30 years, "She knows me better than I know myself." He didn't say it with fear. He said it with peace. Because when someone knows you that deeply and they still choose you, it gives you a freedom you can't find anywhere else. Now let's talk about the role of gratitude in intimacy, because this is where so many relationships silently fail. When you stop appreciating each other, when you start taking each other for granted, the love doesn't always disappear right away, but the joy does. And joy is what keeps love feeling light instead of heavy. So try this. Every single day, tell your partner one thing you appreciate about them. It could be big. Thank you for supporting me through a hard time. Or small. I love the way you make my coffee every morning. It doesn't matter. What matters is that they hear it. Because what is repeated becomes remembered. When gratitude becomes a habit, your partner stops feeling invisible. They stop feeling like what they do goes unnoticed. And people who feel appreciated will always give more love back. And here's the truth. None of this takes hours. It's not about grand speeches or dramatic gestures. It's about small, intentional moments. 10 minutes of real conversation. A look across the room that says, "I see you." A text in the middle of the day just to say, "Thinking of you." These moments stack up. They become the story of your relationship. Because one day, decades from now, you won't remember the bills or the emails or the long workdays. You'll remember the way they held your hand when you were scared. The way you both laughed so hard you cried. The way you stayed up talking until sunrise about nothing and everything. Those are the things that make a life feel full. So as we wrap this up, I want you to think about your own relationship, or the one you want to have someday. Ask yourself, am I truly present? Am I curious about this person's inner world? Do they feel safe with me? Do I give love in small, consistent ways, not just when it's convenient? Do we have shared meaning, little rituals that belong only to us? Because love doesn't thrive on accident. It thrives on purpose. It thrives when two people decide, over and over again, I choose you, I choose us, even on ordinary days, even when it's hard, especially then. And if you start bringing even a few of these things into your relationship, presence, curiosity, kindness, safety, gratitude, you will feel the difference. Slowly at first, then all at once. The laughter will return, the spark will return, and most importantly, the friendship and trust underneath it all will grow so strong that nothing can shake it. And maybe, years from now, someone will ask you your secret. And you'll smile and say, "Why? Never stop choosing each other." That's all. Because here is what so many people don't realize: relationships are not destroyed by the big storms, they are destroyed by the slow drift apart. By the busy schedules that take priority over simple conversations. By the phone in your hand when your partner walks into the room wanting your attention. By the things left unsaid because you assume they already know. But love doesn't survive on assumptions. It survives on the choice to keep learning each other over and over again. You see, love is like a language, and every single day, you're either speaking it or you're letting it fade. When two people stop speaking the language of love, small words of appreciation, small acts of kindness, small moments of presence, they slowly become strangers who share the same house. And the saddest thing is, neither of them meant for it to happen. It wasn't that they stopped loving each other. It was that they stopped showing it in ways that mattered. I once met a man who had been married for 45 years. I asked him, "What's the secret?" He smiled and said, "Every day, I look for one new way to make her feel special. Even if it's something small, like bringing her tea before she asks, or leaving a note on the bathroom mirror. She never has to wonder if I see her. She never has to wonder if I appreciate her." And that struck me, Because isn't that what we all want? To never have to wonder if the person we love still sees us, still values us, still wants to know us the way they did at the beginning. This is where so many couples go wrong. They think love should be effortless once you find the right person. But the truth is, love is not hard, yet it does require intention. Just like a garden doesn't stay beautiful if you stop watering it, relationships don't stay alive if you stop feeding them with care. The weeds of neglect will grow whether you want them to or not. But here is the beautiful part. Even if you've let it fade, even if things feel distant right now, you can bring it back. Because love responds to effort. Every single time. The human heart is wired for connection. When you show up with kindness, with presence, with genuine interest, the walls start to crumble. The spark starts to return. So if you want to transform your relationship, start with the smallest things. Tonight, instead of watching TV in silence, ask your partner about a childhood memory they've never told you. When they talk, listen like it's the most important story you've ever heard, because to them it is. Tomorrow, write them a simple note, not a poem or a speech, just one sentence that says, "I'm grateful for you." Touch their hand for no reason. Hug them and hold on a few seconds longer than usual. Watch what happens when these little moments stack up. Psychologists have found something fascinating. Couples who regularly express appreciation and physical affection have far lower rates of conflict, even during stressful times. Why? Because when you feel valued and connected, the little annoyances don't turn into big battles. There's a foundation of love and trust underneath everything, so the storms can't shake it. And here's something else to remember. Intimacy is not just about romance, it's about friendship, laughter, and shared experiences. Couples who laugh together stay together because laughter brings back playfulness, and playfulness keeps love from becoming too heavy. When was the last time you laughed with your partner about something silly, like you did when you first met? If it's been a while, maybe it's time to bring that back. Go do something fun together, something that makes you both forget the weight of the world for a little while. Those moments matter more than you think. And above all, learn to see each other with soft eyes again. The world will be hard enough on both of you. Don't let home feel like another battlefield. Let it be a sanctuary instead. A place where you both can be human, imperfect, real, and still deeply loved. Because at the end of the day, no one remembers the perfect words or the flawless plans. They remember how you made them feel. Safe. Chosen. Cherished. That's what intimacy really is. Not just touch, not just passion, but the feeling of being fully known and fully loved at the same time. So if you want to keep your love alive for years to come, don't wait for the big moments. Make the small ones count. Look at them like you did the first time you met. Ask questions like you did when everything was new. Hold their hand like it still matters. Because it does. It always will. And maybe years from now, when people ask about your secret, you'll smile the same way that older couple did and say, "We never stopped choosing each other every single day." In the little ways. Because here is the thing, relationships don't need perfection, they need presence. They don't need grand promises spoken once. They need small acts repeated often. You don't have to write poetry every day, but you do need to notice the little things. The way she tucks her hair behind her ear when she's nervous. The way he goes quiet when something is weighing on his mind. The dreams they mention in passing but secretly hope you remember. Those are the moments that build connection, because they tell your partner, "I see you. I hear you. I care enough to pay attention." And attention is the rarest gift in our world right now. Think about it. People are drowning in distractions, pulled in 100 directions by work, phones, deadlines, noise. So when you give someone your full attention, when you put the world on pause just to be with them, it feels like love because it is love. I remember a woman once said about her husband of many years, "The thing I love most about him is that he never makes me feel like I have to compete with his phone for his attention." Simple, isn't it? But powerful. Because attention says, "You matter more than anything else right now." And when people feel like they matter, they open their hearts. They share their fears, their dreams, their worries, their joy. That's how intimacy deepens. Not through pressure, not through force, through safety, through trust. I want you to picture this. Two people sitting on a porch late at night, no phones, no TV, just the sound of crickets in the background. They talk about everything and nothing. The things they regret, the things they hope for, the memories that still make them laugh. There's no rush to impress, no masks to wear, no walls to hold up. Just two people being fully themselves, fully present. That's intimacy. That's what keeps love alive when life gets hard. Because love will face hard days. There will be times when you're both tired, stressed, maybe even frustrated with each other. That's normal. But the couples who last don't let hard days make them forget the good ones. They remember that they're on the same team. They fight the problem, not each other. They apologize when they're wrong. They forgive when things get messy. They give each other the benefit of the doubt instead of assuming the worst. And here's the secret. Kindness in those moments matters more than you think. Harsh words might feel small at the time, but over the years they leave scars. And kindness, even when you're upset, leaves a different kind of mark. The kind that says, "Even when I'm angry, I still respect you. Even when we disagree, I still choose love." That's why some couples grow closer after fights while others grow apart. It's not about never arguing. It's about learning to argue with love still in the room. No yelling, no name calling, no digging up old wounds. Just two people working through something together because the relationship is more important than the ego. And then there is gratitude. We talked about it before, but it's worth repeating because it's so easy to forget. Life gets busy, responsibilities pile up, and somewhere along the way, we stop saying thank you for the little things. But gratitude keeps love soft. It keeps hearts open. When someone feels appreciated, they naturally want to give more. It creates a cycle where kindness grows instead of resentment. So tell them. Tell them you notice how hard they work. Tell them you love how they make you laugh. Tell them you're thankful they're in your life. Because one day, you won't have the chance to say it again, and you'll wish you had. Another thing, don't stop creating memories together. People think memories have to be expensive trips or big events, but the truth is, the best ones are often simple. Cooking together on a rainy day, dancing in the kitchen to a song only you two love, driving nowhere in particular just to talk. These are the moments you'll remember when you're old. These are the moments that become the story of us. And years from now, when you look back, it won't be the perfect Instagram photos or the fancy dinners you remember most. It will be the way they reached for your hand when you were scared. The way you both laughed until you cried about something silly. The way they made even ordinary days feel like something special just by being there. Because real intimacy is built in ordinary moments. It's not about fireworks every day. It's about the quiet knowing that this person is your safe place, your home, your greatest adventure, and your calm after the storm all at once. So choose each other. In the small ways. In the ordinary days. When it's easy and when it's not. Because love doesn't fade when life gets hard. It fades when we stop tending to it. When we stop looking at each other like we still matter. When we stop being curious. When we stop saying thank you. But when you keep choosing each other, when you keep seeing each other, when you keep finding little ways to say, I love you, without even using words, the years don't make love weaker. They make it stronger, deeper, richer. The kind of love people write books about. And maybe one day someone will ask how you did it. How you stayed so close after all this time. And you'll smile and say, we didn't let the world make us forget each other. That's all. We just kept choosing each other every single day.